Just about everything is ready for Balloonfest 86, set to take place in downtown Cleveland tomorrow to benefit the United Way. Literally millions of balloons will be released on Public Square, which will set a world record.
Ever heard of a mass charitable event that ended up putting 2 lives at risk and resulted in multiple citywide lawsuits? Well, you're about to find out. In this video, we're giving you a roundup of Balloonfest 86. On December 5th of 1985, Disney commemorated its 30th anniversary by releasing 1.2 million helium-filled balloons on the skies of Anaheim in California. The cloud of multicolored balloons took over the skies of Southern California at 2 p.m. as almost 100,000 spectators cheered along. The balloon net was a sight to see for many people of California, including the residents of Los Angeles. Many citizens cited the event as the most exciting thing that ever happened to Los Angeles after the 1984 Summer Olympics. It was Disney's way of thanking the visitors of Magic Kingdom in Anaheim that almost generated $550 million annually for the company. $550 million in the 1985 economy sounds like a stretch, but we're talking about Disneyland, guys. Kids and adults both love that place. Well, thanks to the volunteers from local high schools, the plan was perfectly executed. Disney ended up breaking Japan's previous Guinness World Record of releasing the highest number of balloons at the same time. The issue arose when a local charity of U.S. United Way attempted to break Disney's record as a charity event. Alright, so let's be honest here, it was more of a charity gimmick as the plans went awfully down the drain. If there was some Guinness award for the worst executed world record attempt, it would have been Balloonfest 1986. You know what they say, imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. Only when you have the right skills to successfully imitate. Balloonfest of 1986 was initiated by United Way as a charity event to break Disney's world record by a considerable margin. The organization decided to release 2 million balloons at the same time to make a world record. United Way America, the largest nonprofit organization by public donations in the U.S. until 2016, promised to give the city of Cleveland a new life in the charity event. Cleveland, which is generally considered to be a boring city, opened its door for the United Way. And guys, the support from the locals was massive. So the city started to prepare rigorously for the fundraising event, or shall we call it a publicity stunt? Either way, you decide as you watch the video. The entire event was organized in collaboration with Balloon Art by Treb, a Los Angeles company owned by Treb Heining. Heining, who is a balloon extraordinaire, worked tirelessly for this dream project. He took care of everything, from the quality of the balloons to constructing a city block-sized structure to hold the balloons. Heining was on his way to making a world record. Heining's successful career actually started when he was just a 15-year-old boy working as a balloon vendor in Disneyland. So we can say that the project was personal for him, beating Disney's world record and all, right? So the venue for the project was chosen on the basis of capacity and open spaces. Soon enough, the choice was clear. It had to be Cleveland's Public Square. Heining and his team started to build a rectangular structure with woven net mesh to hold the balloons on the southward quadrant of Public Square. What could be the size of the structure that would possibly hold off 2 million balloons? Don't stress much, guys, we got you covered. The rectangular structure that was built was the size of 76 by 46 meters, and it was as high as a 3-story building. On average, it took 6 months to build the structure and to plan the entire event. The date for the event was decided to be the 27th of September, 1986. United Way promoted the event as a public charity event, and surely soon enough, public support started to surge in. A plethora of children from middle to high school participated in the event as volunteers. They were volunteering for the event in good faith because, well, you know, it's a charity event, but they were in for a surprise. Children sold the sponsorship for every 2 balloons and $1. Naturally, the working class of Cleveland wanted to do their part as responsible citizens. Balloonfest in 1986 got massive press coverage from the local and national TV channels. Local reporters were covering every aspect of the event, and media persons were all set to broadcast the live event. Heining also looked over the balloon inflating process as well. When a reporter from a local TV channel asked Heining about the inexperienced children who were going to inflate 2 million balloons, Heining was rather positive. He responded with, and I quote, "We are figuring that they'll do about 2 to 3 balloons per minute. Each kid is going to do 700 balloons or so for a day, and we'll do it in 4 to 6 hours, all balloons." However, many children who worked as volunteers seem to be incredibly overworked. As they worked continuously within a strict time frame, many got blisters on their fingers while knotting up the balloons. Many news channels showed children inflating the balloons with white bandages around their fingers, but their spirits were high and they kept going. Oh, and if you think that is the worst part of Balloonfest, I have news for you. It really isn't. By the time the total balloon count reached 1.5 million, fate had to intervene. A high-pressure system was about to hit Cleveland, so organizers decided to release the balloons early. They were still beating Disney, so we guessed, that was an okay move. At around 1:50 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the woven net mesh was uncovered from the massive structure to release 1.5 million balloons in the skies of Cleveland. The colorful blanket of balloons enveloped the city skies and surrounded the terminal square. That's it, guys. The organizers celebrated the newly formed world record. Or so they thought. But the celebrations halted soon enough. There was no doubt that the fundraising event was masterfully planned, or at least everyone thought so. It turns out the organizers didn't exactly take weather as an important variable for their success factor. Heining and others were expecting that the helium-filled latex balloons will surely deflate after a long while before dropping back to Earth. Surprise, that wasn't the case at all. The cool air front and rain didn't let the balloons to be deflated, and they kept dropping down to Cleveland while still being inflated. Yep, that really did happen. The cool air fronts also took balloons across the border. Majority of the balloons descended to Canada's Lake Erie and areas surrounding it. Guess Canada has to keep thanking the US for all these unwarranted gifts. Many balloons also congested the land and waterways of northeastern Ohio. Pretty sure if it was 2020, environmental activists would have definitely hit United Way with a pretty heavy lawsuit. However, things took a tragic turn when the descended inflated balloons interfered with the search of 2 fishermen who went missing in the Edgewater Park breakwall the previous day. Raymond Broderick and Bernard Solzer were reported missing by their families on the day of the event. The National Coast Guard initiated a helicopter and boat search party to find the missing fishermen. Soon enough, they were successful to find the boat belonging to the fishermen, so the hopes of spotting the fishermen became high. Unfortunately, the helicopter crew was hit by an asteroid field of balloons that were still floating in the skies. The boat crew couldn't move past it in the lake as it was covered by almost 60% of the 1.5 million inflated balloons. It became extremely hard for the search party to spot the fishermen. Thanks to the failed strategy of United Way, Coast Guards had to suspend the search party. Eventually, the dead bodies of the fishermen were found on the shores of Edgewater Park. Remember when we said that the charity event took 2 lives? Yeah, it is the very same charity event. Soon enough, United Way was hit with its first lawsuit. One of the fishermen's wives sued United Way of Cleveland and its collaborating company for a big amount of $3.2 million. The case was settled on undisclosed terms, but that wasn't just it for United Way. When the balloons landed on the pasture land belonging to Louise Nowakowski of Medina County in Ohio, her Arabian horses were frightened and went rogue. As a result, 2 of the horses suffered permanent damages. Nowakowski sued United Way of Cleveland for $100,000 in damages. Like before, the case was settled on unknown terms. And if you think those are the only damages that Balloonfest caused, no, not really. Burke Lakefront Airport of Ohio had to be closed temporarily for air traffic, and the vehicles on the roads collided into each other as the driver stopped to witness the blanket of balloons. Well, the last damage isn't exactly United Way's fault, but yeah, everyone has to jump on the bandwagon. So now, you must be wondering how much United Way contributed towards charity. Yep, you guessed it, next to nothing. The event went in a net loss as the lawsuits were paid off. There goes a weak attempt to make a world record, and it was a pretty miserable one if we're being honest. The charity event was initially recorded as the Guinness World Record, but at very high cost. And to add insult to a pretty bad injury, Guinness later on declined to record the event as the world record due to serious consequences. So overall, the charity event was a total disaster, and all of the combined efforts went down the drain. The event that started with cheerful and joyous faces all around Cleveland is now one of the most tragic stories of the city. There you go, guys. That is all from us today. We hope you enjoyed the detailed overview of Balloonfest 1986. If you liked the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. See you all again very soon. Goodbye.